Hi, I'm Jim. I'm a narcissist. I have narcissistic personality disorder. Today's video is going to be a tough one. Not tough because of the water. I just came back from lunch and, jogged. And of course, it's getting a little warmer, so I'm sweating more. And need to hydrate. And you think I'm nasty and gross for drinking out of the tuber? Pardon me. Nasty and gross for burping on my video. But I live alone. Nobody else here. This is me. And I'll blast through that thing fast, man. And I can put away some seltzer water. I'm just avoiding. It's going to be a really tough one today. Really tough. Got my tissues. So, having a really hard time with my breakup with my ex. And I just kept thinking that's going to get better with time, and it's not. I think about her more every day, and this isn't like, it hasn't been like a couple of days, a couple of weeks. I mean, it's been months and months. And I just can't. I feel like I'm just not making any progression towards getting over her. So I've been working on I think I've come up with some things. Who knows? I mean, they're probably out there, but for me, I kind of felt like it's not like I've read them somewhere. But I wanted to review them with my therapist before, I kind of like talked about it on a video. I've been doing these for a couple of weeks, and like I said, I talked to my therapist about it, and got the green light that So again, every day it just gets harder. I think about her more, and the more I think about her, right, the natural progression, when your mind realizes it's not getting what it wants, it starts going in different directions, right? It starts trying to make them enemies, make them out to be evil, and starts digging for negative things, right? It's not how I want to remember. It's not fair, because I was the monster, right? I was the evil one. I don't get from my mind to make me think on one negative thought about that girl at all. So when early on, the thoughts would kind of pop in a little bit, and I dismissed them. But after a while, they just started getting more and more aggressive, and I imagine it's some type of coping mechanism. I'm sure it is. So I started thinking about cognitive behavioral therapy, and how do we change thoughts? I want to write the script. I want to tell my mind how to remember her. I want to create that image, right? So a little bit of backstory is after she left me, because I had emotionally abused her to the point where she just couldn't take it anymore. She did exactly what she's supposed to do. She cut all ties, right? But there was a bill that was in her name. A couple of months went by, and she reached out to me about the bill. And at that point, I tried to hoover. So I sent her a really long letter, and it was exactly that. It was me hoovering. It was all the manipulation, all the god-awful, terrible stuff that I did with this disorder. It was... And at that point, She didn't tell me I was well, let me take that back. She told me I was a narcissist. And I had never even heard of narcissistic personality disorder. So, she's the one that led me to discover who and what I am. Now, rightfully so, the fear of what I did to her, of course, made our relationship irreconcilable. Rightfully so. It is too much of a risk to ever give a narcissist or somewhat narcissistic personality disorder a second chance. It's not worth the risk. But if it wasn't for her, I would have never discovered what I am. I would have never started my journey. I write the script. I decide how I see her. So when these thoughts come into my head, the ones that are trying to convince me bad things about her, make her into the monster, make her out to be the evil one, I don't let them. What I do is I immediately tell myself, and full disclosure, I'm agnostic, I'm an atheist. So I mean this in an atheist agnostic sense. I don't know how else to describe it. But I say to myself, she was an angel that was sent to just save my life. Because that's the truth. I don't get my happy ending. I get that. But what she gave to me, what she did for me, and that's how I'm gonna write the script. I'm gonna mold how I see her. So when my mind tries to turn things evil and negative, that's what I say to myself. She was an angel sent here to make me aware of what I am, and it changed my life forever. There's no way I'm ever going to allow myself to see her as evil or bad or a monster or blamed in any way. At all. And I talked to my therapist, and we talked about that being a good way to change my thought patterns. I've been doing it for a couple of weeks, and here's kind of how it's worked. The thoughts still come. They do, right? But they dismiss very easy. As soon as I say that, it overpowers them. It overpowers them. And just saying it in my mind makes me feel so good. It does. I feel amazing when I say that to myself. I really do. It's so powerful. It's so impacting. She was an angel. Came here to change my life forever. Oh, man. I told you it's going to be a tough one. I'm not even close to done. So that's one of the things I'm doing. And here's the other. I owe her so much. I really do. And even though she'll never know. Like, she'll never know what I think about her. She'll never know whether I made her out to be like a monster in my head, or you know what I mean, I went back to being a narcissist, she'll never know any of it. But I will. I'll know. That's important to me. It's really important. So she's moved on. And it's important to me that I'm happy for her. And being a narcissist with narcissistic personality disorder, that's not an easy thing. That's really hard. We're a lot more jealous than the average person, right? We're a lot more resentful than the average person, right? We're a lot more competitive, meaning like, you know, that factors in too. I mean, you know, it's just when you're a narcissist, there's so many other things that normal people don't deal with when it comes to like breakups and, you know, the other person dating someone, right? It's not equal. It's not the same. It's different. It's 1,000 times more difficult. But I want her to be happy. Oh my God. So I think I've shared when I jog, I do my affirmations. Studies have shown that if you increase your heart rate, it opens up receptors in the brain to. There's a whole science to it. I'm not, but if you do like affirmations and things like that, it hits the brain more intensely faster if your heart rate is increased. So while I'm jogging, I do affirmations. I think I told you with my survivor's guilt, you know, I scream and yell at the driver of the car that hit my brother. But I started doing something else, and this is kind of an interesting one, and I'm getting really good results with it. So I started incorporating talking about me wanting her to be happy. All right. So while I'm jogging, I start saying things like, she deserves to be happy. I'm happy for you. I hope you find the peace I could never give you. I ventured off and I try processing things from the past, apologizing for things I did, the way I treated her. And it's helping. It's helping me to really be happy for her. Like, genuinely. Anybody can pretend. But she has no idea whether or not I'm wishing her well, or I have voodoo dolls stabbing them at night. But I want my future to be better than my past. I want happiness for her. I do. I want her to have everything I wasn't able to give her. And to make sure it's genuine. And that evil demon stuff doesn't get in there and pollute it. That's one of the things I talk about while I'm jogging. I told you it was going to be a tough one. But she was an angel sent to change my life. And I hope she's happy. And I wish her all the happiness in the world. Man, that's intense stuff. That's as deep of a look into my soul as you'll ever find. Sorry, I knew where that was going to take me. I got a lot more jogging and to get a lot of stuff out. And if that isn't intense enough, I'm about to go back to where I grew up, and I think I'm gonna go to where my brother's accident was. I think I'm gonna walk through it. I think I'm gonna talk to the driver, contemplating videoing it. Okay. So, hydrate. If you knew how far I ran, how much I sweat, you'd be like, man, I can't believe you still got water in you to cry as much as you did. Yeah. I'm gonna cry for that girl till the day I die. I am. Yeah. And you know what? It's gonna be different. I'm not just gonna cry. I'm gonna smile. I'm gonna be happy for her. I really am. That's something that's a really big goal for me. Like, I feel it, right? But I'm gonna get to the point where there's nothing else. It's just pure inner happiness. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there for her. Yeah, it's the right thing to do. She deserves it, even if she doesn't know it. I'm gonna get there. I'm already a lot closer. So, just go over some of the techniques. So, to recap. So one of the ways, as a narcissist, my mind after the breakup, and I can't stop thinking about her, and my thoughts get more intense every day. Not just more intense, there's more of them. And like I said, this hasn't been days or weeks, this has been months. I mean, at this point, everything should be alleviating. And it's not, it's getting worse. And I think at some point, my mind really wanted to start coping in a different way. So it started making the negative thoughts more aggressive. And when I say negative thoughts, I mean, trying to make her out to be evil, to be the monster, to be the demon, right? It's always a little bit easier if they're the bad one, right? So my mind started really hitting me with those thoughts really hard and heavy. So what I do to counter those thoughts, and I allow myself to have them. The first thing the last thing you ever want to do is ever fear a thought. And all that does is make it more strengthful and powerful, right? So if you try to suppress, oh my God, how could I think that? Let me get rid of that thought immediately. It's going to keep coming back harder and more intense, right? So you never want to do that, right? First, you have to accept it and acknowledge it. Hey, it's okay to have these thoughts. There's nothing wrong with having these thoughts. And like I said, at that point, I say to myself, she was an angel that was sent here to save my life. And it stops them in their tracks. Because it's true. Every day of the rest of my life is going to be different and better because of what she did for me. All right. Then while I'm running, I talk and I say things like, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you found the happiness I couldn't give you. And I try to work through some of the stuff I did. apologizing specifically for things that I did. You know, when I did this, and this, I'm sorry. You didn't deserve to be treated that way. And, yeah. The goal there is to work towards being 100% genuinely happy for her and her future. And I'm actually kind of surprised that I might not be 100%. There's still, you know, so much, like, why not me, and, you know, all that stuff. But there's a lot more happiness than I would have thought. Okay. I hope this was helpful. And yeah, if I do make the video at the accident, that's gonna be another intense one, I imagine. Lots of cursing, maybe some crying, all kinds of stuff. Must see TV, I guess, as they say, right?